My last video I mentioned about gatekeepers. Now there's actually a scriptural word, and if you talk about gatekeepers biblically, you're talking about the people on the gates of the city who would allow people to come in, exclude or stop people from coming in, the wrong people. Now, what I mean by gatekeepers is true apostles. Now, you can have local gatekeepers of local churches that protect the church, the local church, from bad influences, bad teachings, false gospels. But I'm talking about the apostolic over the church in general. They are the people that are allowing, first of all, they're establishing the truth of the gospel. But after that, they are stopping and they're preventing false gospels from coming in, allowing those false gospels through the gates of the body of Christ. Now, I honor and I humbly submit to the glorious work that God has done in his church in the UK and beyond, but I'm specifically talking about the UK with the apostolic, although it's a truth that covers many nations, and especially the Western nations. The apostolic, God restored that through the last century, and he restored true apostles, and they came and they established the gospel. They established righteousness apart from the law, the truth of the grace of God. And there's many examples I can give of people operating and ministering in the gospel of the grace of God. But what I humbly submit is their failure, where they sort of failed, or they didn't fully push through into the fullness of what could be available for the church, and which has led to a decline in the British church, is that they didn't function as they could have done as gatekeepers, as excluding and stopping false gospels coming into the church. Now, Paul can be an example to us all, and as those gatekeepers, as those true apostles, he was absolutely radically opposed to false gospels, which added to the cross, which added works, which started going back to Judaism, to the law-based religion, all these sorts of things, to legalism. And we can read about that so strongly, obviously in Galatians, which I believe is the most important book really for this generation, but also it's examined in Colossians, also Corinthians, where false apostles were trying to come in. So the true apostles that God sets the church, and we cannot have a healthy church unless it's built on the foundation of true apostles. From there, all of the gifts of Christ, all of the ascension gifts of apostles, evangelists, pastors, teachers, of all the fullness of the body of Christ can come, but only when the gospel is established and it's protected, and these false traditions cannot come in. You see, a healthy church needs the true gospel to be established in, that nothing can come in and turn us away, and then the gospel will produce fruit as the church teaches only grace.